Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Natural Tea with the Tea, bringing you your very first full podcast from me, and I hope that you enjoy what you hear. Again, my name is Natural Tea. That's Natural, the letter T, WITHTHETEA. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about working on the moment that you are in and not necessarily waiting for the perfect moment to come. Let's be honest. A lot of us, everything we do, we wait for the perfect moment, whether that be to buy a home, to maybe move out of our parents' house, to start that new job. There's so many things that we wait for the perfect moment on. And sometimes the moment that we may feel like is the perfect moment may come. But a lot of times it doesn't. That moment may never come. And what do we get when that moment doesn't come? We get nothing, because we've waited and we've waited. And we've let so many opportunities pass us by. Now, as you can probably hear in the background right now, I have a lot of wind. You may hear other noises, and I know that might be just a little unusual for a podcast. It's not always going to be this way going forward. But something told me that I needed to act in the moment. So I stepped outside, I stepped into nature, I looked around, I took it all in, and I decided now is the time. It's not in a studio, it's not in my office, it's not with my microphone in the perfect setting. It's just in the present moment. And it feels good. It feels good to be in the present moment, to just talk to you all about what is on my mind. As I said, this isn't always going to be this way. This is my very first full podcast episode that I'm sharing with you all. So as I go along, I'm taking you on the journey with me. Things may change, things may not change. There may be errors here and there, and I hope you all decide to stay with me while we go through all of it. I have lived most of my life trying to wait for everything and everything I do to be perfect. And if it does not come out as perfect, then I feel like a failure. I feel like, why even bother trying to go forward with the plan? If that one part did not go perfectly, that means none of it's going to go perfectly, and I'm wasting my time. I may think, what will people think of me? Will people look at me as a failure? Will people make fun of me? I think about all that. And the fact of the matter is, you're never, ever going to reach perfectionism. It's just not going to happen. And if you stay stagnant, if you allow perfectionism to cause you to be stagnant, then you will never move any closer to any dreams that you may have. And those dreams can be anything. Those dreams can be starting your own podcast, starting that business that you've always thought about, going back to school, starting that new job. It could be so many different things. And we wait and we wait and we wait. And, some people transition and pass on still waiting. I don't want to be one of those people that spend forever waiting. I want to act. I want to do. I want to inspire people. I want to show women, especially women of color, that you can do this, that you don't have to live in your own thoughts, in your own insecurities, that there are people rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Just like I decided to walk outside amidst the noise and the wind and everything today, anyone can do this. You don't need the perfect setup. You don't need the perfect time. A lot of us are mothers. And even if you aren't a mother, you still may feel like you can't give yourself to anything because you're already stretched in so many different directions with work and home and other people and other commitments. Well, when was the last time that you committed to yourself? When was the last time that you looked in the mirror and you said, I said I'm going to do this for me, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep my word. We always hear about keeping our word to people. I told XYZ I'm going to pick her up at 4. So what kind of a woman would I be if I did not keep my word and I did not pick her up at 4, or I did not pick him up at 4, or I told him or her I would cover their shift today? And what kind of person would I be if I didn't show up, if I didn't show up to cover their shift? Well, think of your own life in that way. If you've committed to starting a business, you've promised yourself, one day I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my business. But then when every time your heart and spirit tells you it's time to start my business, you say, well, I can't right now because I have this going on, or it's not the right time, or I don't have enough money. You are not keeping your word to yourself. And that is so incredibly important. You are important. You are just as important as anyone else around you. And in the hustle and bustle of life and everything that we do and everything that we see and everything that we go through, we forget that. We forget how incredibly important that we are and how incredibly important that our happiness is and that our dreams are. We've been programmed to feel guilt if we turn inward and decide to do things for ourselves. And if we don't do that, we're told that we're selfish. We're told that if we don't do that, I can't do that because if I do, I'm selfish. If I take this day here, I can't do that because everyone at work will need me and someone else will have to do what I do, and that'll be very selfish of me. Well, you can be selfish with yourself. I know that sounds strange, but you can. You can be selfish towards yourself. If you can't take a day or an hour or even a week and say, I am taking this time and I'm taking it for myself, you are being selfish to your own needs. You're not looking out for you, and you have to look out for you. And so many people don't, and that's the cause of a lot of our problems and a lot of our stress. And as we all know, stress is the number one killer of most people. Stress leads to all the other underlying conditions that can kill you over time, or maybe not even over time. It may not even take that long. Give yourself the same benefit that you give others, and that you give everything else. You are worth it. You are loved. You are important. And you have to love yourself. Show yourself the same grace and the same love that you show everyone else around you. Now, I'm going to end this here. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you like this. I would love to hear from you. And if you have any other topics that you want me to discuss going forward, please let me know. I am open to most all suggestions. And just let me know what you think about this one. I would love to hear your feedback. Again, I am Natural Tea. Thank you so much for sipping this tea with me. Again, excuse the noise, but this is something that was done in the moment. And I hope you have an amazing, wonderful day. Get out into nature, touch the grass, look at the sky, and absorb everything around you. Never stop learning.